Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
Okay, so as we all know, the US government seems intent on banning TikTok, and they have been attempting to do so for quite a while now. And just recently, in March of 2024, last month, Congress passed a bill that would require ByteDance to sell TikTok within the next 6 months in order for the TikTok app to continue being used in the US. ByteDance is a Chinese company headquartered in Beijing. And from what we're told as the American public, the US politicians are telling us that they want to ban this app in our country because they're highly concerned about data sensitivity, about the Chinese government getting our data, about propaganda that the Chinese government may disseminate through that app, because under the rules and laws in China, ByteDance has no option but to cooperate with the Chinese government. Now, first of all, with respect to access to our data, I mean, our data is everywhere as Americans. It's all over the internet. It's in LexisNexis reports. How many companies have you purchased something from or been involved with that have sent you notifications saying that there's been a security breach and your data was potentially included among it? I've gotten that so many times over the years that it's no longer funny. For example, here we see that the data of 73 million AT&T customers has been found on the dark web. In another example, 57,000 Bank of America customers recently had their data exposed during a cyber attack. And these are just two recent examples. This type of thing has been happening for decades in this country. We already know that Facebook was selling our data. Remember this so-called scandal when Facebook allowed Cambridge Analytica, a British company, to access all of its users' data? And this happened back in like 2015. We're in 2024 now. And apparently Facebook's still at it. As we can see here, Facebook allegedly allowed Netflix to see all of the user private messages on Facebook. I mean, come on. That part, I'm not really buying. The part about propaganda, I'm not sure. I believe it was under Obama that legislation was changed that now allows propaganda to be disseminated to the American public by the American government. So we're already being subjected to that. But I guess there's a difference between propaganda by our own government, which wants to keep us confused about a number of certain things, versus propaganda by a foreign country that our government is allowing to buy companies in our country, to buy farmland in our country, and to do a whole lot of other things in our country. So this is an older article naming some of the companies that are owned by Chinese investors. Let's look at a few. The Chicago Stock Exchange, AMC Theaters, Smithfield Foods, GE Appliances, the Waldorf Astoria, and Motorola Mobility, just to name a few. And we see here that China owns more U.S. farmland than Bill Gates. In fact, China owns 384,000 acres of U.S. farmland, and 195,000 of those acres could be owned by individuals, companies, or the Chinese government. But I don't know. I'm not really so sure about the propaganda issue. And according to some congressmen and women, there were tons of young folks and teenagers jamming the lines in response to TikTok's advertising or marketing campaign. encouraging all of its many users in America to call into their congressmen and to express that they were not in favor of the ban. And then afterwards, a number of members of Congress were saying that the phone lines were jammed by kids and teenagers crying and hanging up when the phone was answered and just doing all kinds of things that children will do in connection with their desire not to have TikTok taken away. And they said that in fact is why the bill passed with such a huge majority, because it became clear to the members of Congress how potentially dangerous it allegedly is for this app to be in existence in America. So those two things, as far as I'm aware, are the primary issues that American politicians have set forth as legitimate reasons for banning TikTok. But of course, American citizens have their own opinions about why American politicians are trying to ban TikTok. Some of them say that American content creators are making money on TikTok, and for some reason, the American government doesn't want to see that happen. I personally know someone who is of the opinion that the US government wants to ban TikTok because Black content creators are making a significant amount of money from TikTok. I have heard people say that the real reason the government wants to ban TikTok is because everyday people are on that app, really from across the globe, and we are sharing information that we would never otherwise get. If there's a fire or a flood or some occurrence, everyday people will upload videos about that, and we learn information on TikTok that we're never going to see on mainstream media. That's for sure. And then still others buy into the government's proposed reasons of propaganda, data security for banning TikTok. I will reveal that I think that the government is primarily trying to ban TikTok to keep us unaware of what is happening both in this country and around the globe. Before social media became so prevalent, the government essentially had a monopoly on the information that we received. Only very few of us were as enlightened or as aware of what's going on in the world as we are now. And those who utilize mainstream media, news outlets to get their information really only heard the government's version of the world. I think that the government is threatened by the fact that we know so much more than we otherwise would know because of that TikTok app. But what I'd like to know is what you think. See you next time.
Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.